Controversy on alleged missing pink sheets hits Supreme Court hearing of election petition case, forcing the termination of today's proceedings.
If your lordship were to allow those exhibits to be shown to the witness, only for it to emerge that they are not in fact things that have been filed, your lordship would respectfully not have advanced the interest of justice in this case.
Tonight, we tell you why the yet-to-be-submitted KPMG Pink Sheet audit report took center stage at the Supreme Court as both the judges and lawyers for respondents struggled to reconcile pink sheets in their possession.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
Top Story is brought to you by Bond Financial Services, your success, our passion. Belacra Mineral Water, the new generation mineral water. It's also brought to you by Lifebuoy, still 100% better germ protection. Also by Blue Rose Limited, Shelter for All, and Star Life Assurance. Suspend your cross-examination on the contentious issues and let's wait for the outcome of the KPMG Pink Sheet audit. Words that summed up a pretty controversial day at the Supreme Court following heated disagreements between petitioners and all three respondents about alleged missing documents in evidence. Lawyers for the NDC, President John Mahama, and the Electoral Commission all pointed to some discrepancies between filed pink sheets in possession of the judges and those in their possession. They pointed to a deliberate agenda to possibly mislead the court. In the end, the court was compelled to terminate today's proceedings as lawyer for the petitioners, Philip Addison, was left in a position unable to continue his cross-examination. This is why.
Accepted that the 834 polling station pink sheets in the possession of the petitioners, which are unsigned, in fact, are unsigned.
My Lord, I can only refer to the pink sheets in our possession.
We thought we gave them a pile of pink sheets yesterday, but
we would resist any attempts to confront Dr. Afari-Gyan with the exhibits they have, in the light of the fact that the exhibits served on us have different exhibit numbers and refer to different polling stations.
We cannot have cross-examination that now pulls up some new exhibits that are not reflected in what we have. That clearly would be improper.
Have they been served? You might have filed them, but the issue is whether they have been served with them.
well, we don't know. And this is why I've always said that this issue that they've raised to a certain, for bringing in KPMG was in the first place unnecessary. All they had to do was to indicate what they are missing.
The issues go a little further than what your lordship suggested. We are saying that what they are bringing in is completely different in terms of exhibit number and code. We are suggesting, my lords, that they are introducing fresh pink sheets to the witness. That is what we have always been saying. Unfortunately, at the registry, the pink sheets were not stamped with the registrar's stamp. That is the most unfortunate thing. So it means that any pink sheet can be introduced at any time.
Now, the judges themselves had many questions about the concern expressed by the respondents, eventually asking lawyer for the petitioners to suspend his cross-examination of the chairman of the Electoral Commission on the contentious issues and stick to those ones that are not being challenged, as we heard at the Supreme Court today. Take a listen.
This is what was given to us a few days ago. That one is handwritten. I don't know whether it's what your lordship has.
No, what I have is what you read earlier, and that is electronically generated or something.
And this is what we have.
Is there an exhibit that the court has that we don't have? I just wanted to be clear.
That is soft copy.
Very well, my lords, because we also did have CD-ROMs which did not have exhibit numbers.
Mr. Secretary, do I take you to mean that we should confine the rest of the cross-examination to matters that will not form part of the KPMG report for the time being.
And I am saying that respectfully, if your lordship were to allow those exhibits to be shown to the witness only for it to emerge that they are not in fact things that have been filed, your lordships would respectfully not have advanced the interest of justice in this case.
They are saying most of the exhibits in contention now have not been served on them. So if you continue on that line, it will mean that it might be an exercise in futility based upon the KPMG report, or it may not be an exercise in futility.
Can you proceed without relying on these contentious exhibits, or you have another batch which, because not all are contentious. Some.
We can now speak to the members of the two legal teams in court. We can speak to Abraham Amaliba, as a member of the NDC legal team. Also joining us on the line is Madam Gloria Kufu. He is a member of the MPP legal team. Let me start with you, Ms. Amaliba. The petitioners have consistently said that your complaints about the pink sheets that are not in your possession cannot be the case because they have indeed supplied you with all the evidence that you need. But tell me, what is the ultimate effect of these complaints that you put before the Supreme Court today?
What they have filed in the Supreme Court is what we should go by, and we are complaining that we have not received all those pink sheets, having in mind the fact that we had raised concern about the fact that when they indicated that they had filed 11,000 plus, we said we didn't receive that much. So what it means is that there's a residue of some 2,000 or 3,000 plus pink sheets that we have not seen. Now, what are we seeing in this trial? We are seeing that pink sheets that did not come to our notice are now being brought out, and they use those pink sheets to confront witnesses in the witness box. That is one. Two, you have a situation where pink sheets from different polling stations having the same exhibit numbers. And I can tell you, from our count, they are about 800. What this means is that it is going to prejudice our case. We will not have the benefit of cross-examining those pink sheets. And so, through the back door, they are getting their pink sheets into the records books of the Supreme Court, and that will form part of the ruling, when indeed and in fact, we have not had the benefit of cross-examining on those pink sheets. So that is the legal effect. That is how dangerous it is to our case. And that is why we don't take these things lying down lightly.
Exactly the point I was coming to, because I hope you appreciate the gravity of what you're saying. This is the Supreme Court. You're accusing the other party of using backdoor channels to introduce fresh evidence.
Yes, and we are clear in our minds. Indeed, lead counsel for the president has indicated, and these are his words, that we don't consider these matters lightly at all, because if you have a trial of this magnitude and the whole country is waiting to see the outcome of this trial, only for the petitioners to bring surprises by introducing pink sheets. You saw that there was unanimity among the respondents who were of the view those pink sheets were not in their custody. They didn't have, in some cases, where they have those pink sheets, the exhibit numbers were different, misleading the witnesses and misleading the court. So we are clear in our minds that we stand by our position, and the KPMG report, when it's finally out, would clear all these matters.
Madam Gloria Kufu, these are serious allegations. I wonder what your reaction is to the things we just heard about backdoor channels and possible misleading of the court.
I think that those are very unfortunate expressions from my colleague on the other side. First of all, let's put this in proper perspective. We, have filed persistently, as your intro indicated. We have consistently said, to start with, we were relying on 11,842 pink sheets. We reviewed our documents and reduced the ones that we are relying on to 11,138. These are no new matters. In his evidence, Dr. Bawumia had been upfront to admit, one, that we had problems labeling these so many thousands of documents. And we are talking about over 11,000 times 15. And that when we realized that we were having too many problems labeling the documents manually, we switched to electronic labeling because it will limit the mistakes and also make it faster. This is not a new matter before the court. So for them today to turn around to make such a big thing of the problems with the labeling is neither here nor there. We have persistently also indicated that we have filed the documents we seek to rely on with the registry. Parties are not responsible for serving documents, and that it is the registry that serves documents on parties. You will recall that at a point in time, the court asked Mr. Chikata to indicate which documents they did not have.
He says they won't do that.
He said they refused. It was their strategy, and that he would not disclose them. What else can we do? And I think that when counsel says that we are introducing things through the back door, he ought not to be using those expressions, because their case is that they have not been served. That is quite distinguishable from we have not filed.
Let me give you an example of what he's talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I saw, for example, Mr. Iden, the lawyer for the Electoral Commission, engage in a back and forth with one of the judges, I'm guessing is Bafo-Bonny, on a particular pink sheet he has, and they sort of checked if they were the same. It turned out eventually from the readings on the document that his document was different from what Bafo-Bonny had.
Different only in terms of the exhibit number. But the court also said that they have the particular pink sheet with the name and the code. And remember, we have served them with further and better particulars. That clearly indicates, because Dr. Afarijan himself has said that the one thing that you can use to determine the uniqueness of a polling station is the code number and the name of the polling station. They have all that. We have told the court that we have had a problem with numbering so many documents. They are aware. The court has said that from the serum that they have the polling stations, the documents that we are seeking to rely on. To say that we are coming through the back door should presuppose that we did not file. But that is not what they are saying. In any case, they instigated or initiated the KPMG count. The KPMG draft report indicates that we have not only filed what we are relying on, we have actually oversupplied.
I actually want to put that.
Where are we proceeding from the back door?
I actually want to put that to Mr. Maliba, because today I heard consistently lawyer Chachi Chikata make reference to the KPMG report yet to be submitted to the Supreme Court. That should settle all this. Why don't you just wait for that to come?
At this point, the point of the matter is that Mr. Chikata initially had indicated that if it turns out that we have actually filed and they were short-served, they will be prepared to receive, said that they will want to cross-examine on it. He went back to that position today.
I actually want to put that question to Mr. Maliba, who's still with me on the line. Mr. Maliba, I'm asking the question about the KPMG audit report, because that was referred to consistently today. And the suggestion is that that will simply do justice to all your concerns, so why don't you simply wait for it?
Indeed, that is not the only complaint about wrong numbering of exhibits, but we are also saying, and you heard clearly from the president's lawyer, that fresh pink sheets have sprung up. Fresh pink sheets have also sprung up.
The other side is disputing that.
And they are part of what they are using to confront witnesses. Indeed, we have also indicated, and Chachu has made that point very clearly, that he does not want to go into the details of the KPMG report, because we have a draft report which says that what we are now looking at is 13,000 plus pink sheets instead of their 11,000 plus pink sheets. And they are thinking that because it is 13,000 plus, it is uhuru for them. No. Clearly, we need an explanation. If it is 11,000 plus and we said we didn't receive all, how much more now it is 30,000
Mr. Maliba,
plus?
do you agree that the KPMG report will settle all this controversy?
Indeed, it will settle, and
Okay.
it is when the frog dies that you see its full length.
Thank you very much. So we'll wait for that report. We understand that there will be another meeting on Thursday when all the parties will submit written responses to the draft report they got. We'll wait for that. But thank you, gentlemen, for your time. That's Abraham Maliba. He is a member of the NDC legal team. Also, you had Madame Gloria Kufu, who is a member of the NPP legal team. Serious issues coming up at the Supreme Court. We'll keep a close eye on that. You want to join us on Newsnight as we bring you the other excerpts that, as far as the case today in court is concerned, plus the mining firm Hansol is admitting today that indeed bribed some officials at the district level. I'm talking about the chairman of district security councils. We will get more about that particular story if you join us on Newsnight on radio. My name is Evan Spencer. Top story brought to you by Bond Financial Services. Your success are passion. Belacra Mineral Water, the new generation mineral water. It's also brought to you by Lifebuoy. So 100% better gen protection, Star Life Assurance, and Blue Rose Limited.